This is a video doing some rounding. I hope everybody's having a good day. Let's round some numbers. I'm going to take and let's round 847. I'm going to round to the nearest hundred. Round to the nearest hundred. Alright, so if I'm rounding to the nearest hundred, I gotta know my place values. So this is my ones place, and that 7 means it's a 7. This is my tens place, that 4 means it's a 40. This is my hundreds place, that 8 means it is a 800. So if I'm rounding to 847 to the nearest hundred, I'm looking at my ones, tens, hundreds. The way I do rounding to make sure I never get it wrong is I underline the number that I'm rounding. Round it to the nearest hundreds, so my 8 is in the hundreds place. Then I look at the number next door, and I say, if the number next door is more than 4, add 1 more to that underlying number. Is my number next door more than 4? No, it is 4, so it's not more than 4. 4 is not more than 4. So I do not need to add anything to my underlying number. It's going to stay the same. Then every number after your underlying number always becomes a 0. So 847 rounded to the nearest 100 is 800. If I took that same number, I took 847 and the question asked me to round it to the nearest 10. Round to the nearest 10. I'm going to look at my place value, my ones, tens. Alright, round to the nearest 10. So I'm going to underline my tens place. Alright, then I'm going to look at the number next door. If the number next door is more than 4, add 1 more. Is 7 more than 4? Yes, it is more than 4. So I'm going to add 1 more to my underlying number. So my 4 is going to become a 5 because I added 1 more to it. Everything after my underlying number becomes a 0. So the 7 becomes a 0. Everything before my underlying number stays the same. It stays the same. So even though it's asking me to round to the nearest 10, I can't just get rid of my hundreds. Everything before it will stay the same. Unless it's a 9. I'll show you that in a minute. Alright, so now I have 850. So 847 rounded to the nearest 10 is 850. Let's look at an example of when we got a 9, because that will change the number before. Let's say we got 697, and it asks us to round to the nearest 10 again. So ones, tens, nines in my tens place. Alright, I look at my number next door. I say, is the number next door more than 4? Add 1 more. Is the number next door more than 4? Yes, it's 7. So I add 1 more to my underlying number. If I add 1 more to 9, what's it going to become? A 10. I can't put 6100, can I? That turns it into a thousands. No, so I'm going to kind of do it like an adding problem, like an addition problem. My 9's going to become a 0. I'm going to put a 0 here, add the 1 to my next number. 1 plus 6 is 7. And then everything after my underlying number becomes a 0. So that is how you would handle if you have a 9 that's going up. You will add 1 to the number to the left. Change your 9 to a 0. It's just like whenever you're adding. So 697 rounded to the nearest 10 is actually 700. Alright, let's look at one more. Let's say I got 2,632. I put my comma, and my question asked me to round to the nearest 1,000. So I look at my place value, I got ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. I underline the number that I'm rounding to, or I'm underlining the place value that I'm rounding to. I look at the number next door. If the number next door is more than 4, add 1 more to my underlying number. Is my number next door more than 4? Yes, it's 6. So I'm going to add 1 more to 2, which is 3. Everything after the underlying number becomes a 0. So 2,632 rounded to the nearest 1,000 is 3,000. If I wanted to take the same number and the question asked me to round to the nearest 100. Well, I got ones, tens, hundreds, so I'm going to underline my hundreds. I'm going to look at my number next door. If the number next door is more than 4, add 1 more. Is my number next door more than 4? No. So since it's not more than 4, my underlying number stays the same. Everything after my underlying number becomes a 0. Put my comma, everything before it is just going to stay the same. So 2,632 rounded to the nearest 100 is 2,600. There are other ways to do rounding. You may have your own way in your head that works. I'll just show you this way because if you do it this way, it's pretty much impossible to get it wrong. So hopefully this helps you out some with rounding. Thank you. I hope everybody has a good day.